All right. Welcome to Across the Chain. What's up, Pat?
Hey,
How you doing?
poor.
Yeah, I think I don't know, man. We're sort of booming right now. Like the Jerome Powell, chairman of the Fed, came out and started talking, and the markets are looking pretty good.
Update me. I've been on call after call after call, and the last time I looked at the markets, I was down everything.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna go. I mean, you could be. I don't know exactly what you're in, but the other thing
I'm in everything.
I feel like what I noticed is every time we film the show, which is every Wednesday, we get a bounce. So I don't know what's happening on Wednesdays. It's a bounce Wednesday.
That's that Wednesday bounce. Come
Yeah,
on.
but I don't know. It's weird because like after our show, the market went back down, and then we start the show back up. It bounces back up. It's like 3 weeks in a row this has happened.
Hey,
So,
man.
but how's this past week for you?
Oh, it was great, man. Really good. Really good. I dealt with my father getting hacked. That was a real pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So I spent most of yesterday unhacking him
Uh,
or getting him unhacked.
That was an
But other than
interesting.
that,
That was an interesting hack too. I mean, that was an elaborate. This wasn't just a connect your wallet and steal your tokens kind of deal.
no, the hacks are getting very interesting. The thing that I found most interesting about this hack was it was a phishing scam, right, with a spoofed PayPal email address. But most specifically, it used to be, hey, I'm going to take your money because your grandkid's in jail. Now it's, I need you to help me catch the people that hacked you. And these people
They're coming
they're
off like the
going,
good guy.
well, exactly, and they're going as far as generating like fake mugshots and tracking screens, government databases that they accidentally show on screen when you're chatting with them.
Dude,
To be like,
that's
oh, so you shouldn't have seen that. We're getting close to this guy.
yeah, that's insane. Like the how elaborate these scams get. But I mean, some good news, right? I mean, last time we talked, it seems like you guys might be able to get the money back.
Yeah, it's relatively good news. We'll see. I hit up a buddy at Coinbase and asked him for the priority contact information. So we have a report out there, report to the banks. We'll see. Yeah, you live, you learn. Look, I love a good scam. From an observer perspective, I find them wildly interesting. So
Yeah.
not cool when it happens to you or a family member, but definitely interesting.
Yeah. So, I guess the moral of the story here is, be very cautious with who you interact with online, and who you give access to. A lot of these scammers will, like in this case, will say that they're trying to help you because you got hacked, and then they'll get you on like a team viewer or some sort of program where they actually can take control of your computer. So that's definitely something to look out for. It's not just, click on the link, connect your wallet type of scam.
You know, what was
But
a trip is as this guy, whoever this guy was, and I'm still trying to figure this out because one of my pop's devices is an Apple, the other is a PC, right? So there's no texting on his computer. However, while I was digging him out of this thing, I said, put the scammer on ice because you never know. If we get everything wrapped up, we might contact the FBI, try to record the conversation. Who knows? But the scammer started calling him and realizing, oh man, he's changing passwords, closing out accounts, and he texted my dad. He said, I told you that you were going to get compromised by the hackers if you essentially took the steps to disallow him from his systems, from my father's systems. And he goes, there's a telephone number they gave you, referring to, I don't know, one of the banks we spoke to, and he read this guy my phone number back, and then said the phone number is registered to a music company in Texas, which my
yeah,
phone number is
yeah,
registered to a music company in Texas, and I still can't figure out how he figured out my number. I still
yeah,
can't figure it out.
yeah. I don't.
But right after that, I got a phishing attack email.
Crazy.
Bastards.
Wow, it's insane.
How are you doing, man?
I am being directed to do something. I don't.
Just ask Pat to move to his right a little bit.
Oh, move to your right, Pat.
Shit.
We're gonna get this language down. Yeah, he looks good now. Well, I mean, Pat looks good all the time.
That's not true.
But yeah, I don't know. You're pretty. The only thing bummed out about your looks that I've been lately is on You got rid of your mullet. Is
Bro, you can only have a mullet for such a long period of time before it's a real shit or get off the pot situation with the mullet. Like you either committing to it for life, or you gotta let it go.
Yeah, yeah. Well, all right. I like it. I support your decision, but I
Not a good run.
I
Man.
love the character.
It was gonna be a rat tail initially, but it formed into a beaver tail.
I was living a bit of your life this past week. I went to Stagecoach, right? So.
Oh man, the country music Coachella.
Yeah, exactly. So if anyone doesn't know, Pat has a pretty significant music background. I think I'm just too old for festivals. I think
you certainly are too old.
I think I'm done with it. You know, we got the trailer and we went camping, and it's an Airstream. We had like a nice experience, but I just I inhaled a lot of dust and smoke, and I'm feeling. We left a day early.
Oh man, who sold you dust? That stuff's dangerous.
I know. I wish there was.
Never mind. I see what you mean.
It's that angel dust. Is that what that is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nope. No, just kicking up dirt, dude. And all the masks that I got from COVID, I could have used any of them, but I left them at home.
There you go, man. Stagecoach, I feel like, because it's the third weekend. So it's Coachella 2 weekends, then Stagecoach the third. It's the country music version. I've been out there with bands that have been playing that festival, and I got to tell you, it's the most burnt out group of workers I've ever seen. because by the time that you get to weekend 3, someone's like, "Yeah, I'll come pick you up in a golf cart to get you to stage," and then they just never come back. Yeah. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them. It's a hard life to work a festival.
Yeah. Well, do you think that they're all like the same volunteers, right? Because they all live...
It's the same people. It's the same staff. Yeah. Not volunteers. They're getting paid by Golden Voice. But
yeah. Because the same production company. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So let's shift this into some crypto. Let's check out the markets here. All right, Pat. You say that you were down a little bit. What are we in?
Oh my God. Okay. What am I in right now? Let me take a look here. On the
Apple, Tesla, dude, your Netflix is up
2%. Oh, the only stocks that I'm in are PayPal. I have 9 shares of that. Oh, no, not PayPal. I'm sorry. Twitter. I have 9 shares of that. Bought that right when the Elon Musk rumors were bubbling. And then Penn National Gaming. But crypto-wise, Shiba, SafeMoon's a loss, total loss. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Gamer token, that's been more of a loss. TCG coin, it's down. Then legit, like,
well, where's
Solana,
TCG
Cardano.
at?
TCG's at like 39 cents, I want to say.
Oh, okay.
Down from like $1.40, 60 cents last week.
Yeah.
Taking a beating, man. But in terms of legit stuff, what am I in? Solana, obviously, Cardano. But I can't even get in my Coinbase right now. But, all the stuff, all the normal stuff.
Yeah. Everything looked like it bounced. What's
a bounce?
Crypto was already up before Jerome Powell got on today. But I just
let's run that down. What happened?
I don't know. I've been working. I just got a bunch of push notifications like right before we were going live, and I didn't have time to digest it. But it was looking like they were talking about increasing by 50 points.
This is a dirty girl. Cardano's up 13%. ETH is up almost 6.5%.
I don't like any of these charts.
XRP's up 7 points. Wish I didn't sell that. But it's only a matter of time, right? Yeah, Shibu's up 7. Solana's up 7. Yeah, Uniswap's up 15. Come on, girl. It's not bad. It's not bad.
So a bounce, like you were asking about a bounce is typically where you're bouncing off of the support line. So here you can see what I was drawing last week, and for whatever reason I can't get this chart to like zoom out. It's like stuck on something. It feels very bizarre. But let's go to like the 1 minute. That looks a little bit better. So right here, like this is a much larger view that we should be able to see, but this right here is the support line that I charted out last week when we were on the call, which is where I was saying, potentially we could go down to like 35 and it would bounce off 35. That's typically what it bounces. So this is at the hour, but you can see like right here, that's going to be the fib. We could just like draw. That's not going to be a straight line, but we could just draw out it. You can see that it bounces like pretty significantly off of like anytime it hits here. We've got bounce here, here. So, I mean, we don't want to see too many pings off the support line, but as we were talking about last week, we're looking at a channel where it's going to go up and down from like 38 to 40 or 42. It's honestly, in my opinion, it's completely unpredictable what's going to happen.
There you go.
We really never know.
Well, okay, so Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve, they delivered the biggest rate increase in interest rates, I guess, since 2000.
In 22 years, yeah.
That's great, especially for a guy that doesn't own a house. That's awesome for me. I love that. Get some of these fools out of the market. Get them out of the market. I guess there was the Federal Open Market Committee, which is the U.S. Central Bank's policy setting cats. They voted unanimously to increase the benchmark rate a 0.5 percentage point. Now, usually when this happens, it's not like tomorrow. It's usually like this is going to happen.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to see. Let's see. Who cares? We're up. Crypto's up. Stocks are up. Interest rates up. I feel like
inflation.
Wouldn't it be the opposite? What's going on? Yeah, they're trying to control inflation.
Yeah, that's the name of the game here, and like a lot of people are talking about a forced recession, right? So to sort of like reset the markets. I mean, this is all theoretical. Like anytime we have like a chairman of the Fed or like the Secretary of Treasury, like these positions and the policies that they set forth, it's all kind of theoretical. Like we don't know what's actually going to happen because we don't know how people are going to react to it, right? So, but historically we can look at behavior patterns in the past and sort of like gauge that. But if you look at our consumer marketplace and the housing marketplace, consumer goods, purchasing behavior, I'd be interested to look at data and how that's changed over time, right? Especially since the internet. So I don't know, we might need to be looking at different economic policies. They're all theoretical, right? Until they get played out and we see exactly how it worked. But
that's boring, Jared.
But
make a prediction, man.
I can't. I wish I could.
You could.
I don't know, man. Prediction with what? The U.S. economy, or
what do you think's going to happen?
I think crypto's going to get involved one way or another, and just as we saw the .com boom, then we saw the data boom, right? So this is largely coming from like companies like Facebook, right? And this around 2008, 2010, and it was this big all these big data collectors. It pushed a whole new level of e-commerce, right? Because people could be targeted so well. Like this data that these companies were aggregating was really just designed to influence purchasing. Not solely, but I mean, that's where the money comes from, right? That pays for all of it, is all the ad dollars. So people are able to find products they want, or are able to be persuaded to buy products that they want. But now we're going into crypto and into blockchain. I don't know, man. It's gonna be really interesting to see what can happen. Prediction wise, there's a lot of accumulation going on with BTC, that's for sure. Like we're seeing more BTC leaving the marketplace, but we're not seeing the price react, right? So we're not seeing it shoot up to like 50K. But when you've got companies like Fidelity and these other large institutions that are going to start rolling in crypto into their 401ks or their long-term retirement plans, this is a spring bring loaded up. So if you start getting e-commerce playing into this, I don't know, man. Crypto can boom.
Yeah,
so,
well, but
that can affect our economy.
Right. What were the factors that made it boom previously? I mean, I feel like we're in the situation where inflation is up, right, because of the pandemic and cash getting handed out.
Yeah, we're just printing money.
Printing money, but that made also a lot of crypto millionaires. I mean, I feel like that's why there was a pump and a boom from March 2020 until like March 2021 or whatever it was, because there was a ton of people with cash, nothing to do, getting in the market, playing around.
Yeah,
I'm sure that had something to do with Bitcoin spiking, but now we're fucked. What's going to make it spike again?
I kind of what I was.
What's going to make it spike again?
Kind of just what I was going on. I mean, it's good to see Bitcoin go over 100K. It's got to be institutions, right? So it's going to be these big corporate companies coming in and investing into Bitcoin, right? So like, let's look at Fidelity. Okay, so this was a huge move, right? And we covered it last week, and I was just talking about it, but Fidelity is not trying to be the new kid on the block, right? They're not just saying, "Oh, crypto's cool, let's add it to our 401k forever." No, their customers, their clients, their fund managers, there was a serious demand push to get these guys to bring in crypto, right? So we get that across the board with major institutions, and we get Warren Buffett to hold back on whatever his opinions are with crypto. It's gonna spring. But look at Warren Buffett. We're gonna cover that article here in the news. The market, it reacted a little bit, but not really, right? So I think there's a lot of accumulation going on right now. I think there's a lot of long-term holding going on right now. We're seeing exchanges dropping significantly with Bitcoin, which is an indicator that Bitcoin's moving into cold storage, which is for long-term holding. So
Did you say whip it coin?
What did I say? Whip it coin?
Is that what you said? Did you say whip it coin? Should I
don't
buy
know.
this?
Yeah. Now we're gonna see
Named after
Whip It Unyu.
Whip it's like the greyhound, like the little greyhound.
Yeah.
What's the address?
I don't. So Whip It Unyu. You could probably find it on CoinMarketCap.
A new dog coin.
Yeah. All right. So, I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of accumulation going on right now. I'm very stoked that I'm not seeing this drop below 35. It really barely has gone below 38. So I'm not saying that it won't. It definitely can go down to 30. But I don't really see it.
Well, let's talk about Buffett, man, because he's always been like, Bitcoin.
Yeah,
I bought Apple. Who
Let's
cares?
Yeah, it also took him forever to get into Apple, right? He didn't just go into Apple like that. That took him a while, but now he's got like $10 billion in Apple.
He has like 9% of the company, or at least Berkshire Hathaway does. It's insane.
Yeah,
it's 5, but it's a lot.
But this guy says that he wouldn't buy all of the Bitcoin in the world, which is a little over 18 million is what's in supply. And he wouldn't buy all of it in the world for $25. Easy enough for him to say, because he is worth like $200 billion. But come on, man. Like,
I mean, when you're a billionaire, you can just throw shit like that out there. But at least he's talking about it. At least he's applying value to it versus no value.
So less than $25 is the value.
Hey, that's a value, man. Yeah. That's something. All kidding aside, that's a floor, man. Come on.
So where I do want to draw a distinction here, because he's talking about Bitcoin, and he's not wrong in some respects as far as like it doesn't produce anything, but there are a lot of assets that don't really produce anything that we use as a store of value, right? So I just think that he's looking at it weird, and the distinction, or he's looking at it very specifically, and the distinction I want to draw on this is that he's talking about Bitcoin. I don't believe he's intending to talk about blockchain technology, right? Mm-hmm. Which is different. And where you actually can draw a store of value on a coin, which is the blockchain native token, is that's used as its currency to transact, right? Or as a payment service, right? Or like to pay the nodes, right? The reward. So that is actually producing something. That is a service that's being rendered, or although it's paying out, not receiving. So I think that's sort of like what he's getting here. But blockchain technology, I don't think is what should be taken out of this article, right? Where he's talking about Bitcoin as an asset, not as a technology, the blockchain itself.
It's funny because, I mean, I don't know much about the Lightning Network, but Bitcoin largely seems like a functionless blockchain. But
you're not too far off.
You were touching on this earlier with data, right, and the dot-com boom. Obviously, the credit card companies, right, and the banks have data,
Yeah.
but that's data they have because of a monopoly that they're not going to share. I wonder, with the blockchain, with more ubiquity with Bitcoin, if there would be data to mine in terms of spending habits.
Well, data to. So when you're talking about mining data, you're not talking about like mining on the blockchain.
No. Mining data, looking
Yeah.
at the blockchain, and then making observations about spending habits to drive predictions of spending habits.
Yeah. So we were talking about this yesterday a little bit. When we were talking about DCAP and how we are studying wallet behavior, like trading behavior, right? So the trading behavior will tell us, well, you pull in all this external data, like market sentiment from socials, market sentiment from news or political. Um, you pull in all this third party data, and you look at the blockchain, you look at a specific wallet, like how is somebody trading. All right, so when they sell, are there data points that are consistent, right? So if Bitcoin drops 2%, do we see that this specific user sells Shiba like every time, right? So those correlations will tell us like that specific wallet, now we can profile that wallet, will historically react this way when Bitcoin falls 2%. That algorithm plays exactly into what you're saying, right? So like spending habits, where are they purchasing, what wallets are they, what smart contracts are they interacting with. If we actually purchased everything, Web3, where like we saw on the open blockchain what wallets we're buying at what department stores or on what websites, we absolutely would be able to identify spending habits for that specific wallet. Now it's anonymous, right? Unless like that wallet address was given publicly and associated with an ID. But you 100% could data mine, and not just these private companies that have these exclusive contracts with payment service providers. Anybody could do it.
Yeah, it's like I'm watching the money that was stolen from my dad move around the internet. It's super interesting. Like,
Yeah.
One guy bought a shirt earlier. It was pretty cool. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. No, I mean, obviously, that is interesting about the decentralization and like there's not enough mass adoption of cryptocurrencies as an actual currency yet. I feel like to glean anything super interesting other than trading habits. But yes, hopefully there will be.
Yeah, I like we were talking about a couple shows ago. I really think that we're going to start seeing, consumer product manufacturers start creating their own cryptocurrency. It could be on the reward side. It could be for transactional purposes. I don't know, but if they do, that's going to be really cool to see how much money actually goes into those companies, because that's another thing that if all these companies were to start operating on blockchain, and again it's all anonymous, we would be able to see how much money they're actually getting, right? If 100% of all the funds went in for like purchasing and stuff, that would be open data, whereas it's not right now, right? We don't get quarterly earnings reports for public companies until the end of every quarter. And even still, like the information that's coming in, I mean, there's nothing to authenticate that that's true. Like those numbers get pushed around all over the place. But imagine if everyone bought into their currency to purchase their products. We would actually be able to see live, how much that specific company is holding in liquidity, is holding in transactional value, or like money's being purchased for goods and services. That would play in a lot to. I think that probably would scare a lot of companies, but that would
Absolutely, it's going to scare the shit out of some companies, man.
But that would definitely bring a whole new way of valuing a corporation.
Yeah,
So
man.
I don't know. I like it. That's cool.
What's up with the crypto police that the SEC is putting together?
So that's the Vatican. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's Crypto Mom. This story actually kind of annoys me a bit. So this is Hester Pierce knocks SEC's plans to add to crypto enforcement staff. All right. So the SEC commissioner added 30, no, 20 new jobs. So previously there were 30, and he added 20 new jobs to the regulatory agency's crypto enforcement squad. The Crypto Mom.
They're not calling it the Crypto Enforcement Squad, are they?
I don't know if they're calling it. This is coming from CoinDesk. So, but I'm down to call it a crypto enforcement squad. What's interesting is that this is coming from the Division of Enforcement within the SEC. Is that this is working in tandem with President Biden's executive order that he put out, and the one person, I'm sure there's multiple, but the Crypto Mom, as they put it, she's dubbed Crypto Mom, is part of the SEC, was not included in that committee, right? Which is interesting that the one person that's probably pro crypto wasn't included in President Biden's committee that he put together with the SEC. That just seems weird to me. It's like, what? Like, we want to come to a balanced decision, right? So you put the negative on the committee, you put the positive on the committee, you let them fight it out, and then we come to like a relatively balanced decision. What this is sort of looking like, where because she was, let's see where her quote is here. She was saying the SEC is a regulatory agency with an enforcement division, not an enforcement agency. This is what she tweeted on Thursday afternoon. Why are we leading with enforcement in crypto? Right? So it's like, shouldn't enforcement be handled by the FBI? So, like, is the SEC now changing their prerogative? Or, like, are they now not a regulatory agency, but now they're an enforcement agency? Are we all over the place and we don't know what the fuck is happening? And
Right, it's like the Treasury Department.
yeah, yeah, it's just a shit show. I don't know. But it's going to be interesting. I personally would feel more comfortable if she were on the crypto enforcement squad. Maybe it would be less enforcement.
I mean, we don't know who those folks are. We'll see.
No,
I mean, look, they're just going to go after the assholes, and that's what needs to happen anyway. So
yeah. Well, I agree. But what happens when they get a little too much power? Then we got over-regulation, which is probably what's going to happen, right? It's going to be over-regulated, and then we'll bounce back. But as long as you're staying clean and doing everything by the book, then you should be fine. I would think.
I mean, yes and no.
That's how we operate.
Yes and no. I mean, I've never had a Binance account. I can't, right? For whatever reason, and I've never messed around with getting on a VPN to get one.
But you don't have a Binance US account?
No, I don't.
Hey, you got to get one of those.
Okay, sure. But why can't I get a real Binance one? Why do I have to get Binance US, a separate company? Why do I have to do that?
Yeah, it's because of the SEC, pretty much.
Right, that's what I'm getting at, man. I mean, they could easily just restrict access to. Look, think of it like a door, right? And that door is shutting, and that door can't shut if enough people get through that door, right? So much so that they clog the doorway and the door can't shut on them. That's how cryptocurrency will become what it could be. Yeah. Alternatively, like, you could do what China did. I mean, and look, the U.S. is not above limiting what's possible to purchase or access in the United States via the internet. Binance is a perfect example.
Yeah. Well, okay, this brings us to another thing that the SEC controls or does, and where it limits who can purchase the security, right? So the reason why Binance isn't here is because, like, Binance Regular, I guess, is because there are security tokens on the platform, right? So Binance US is free of that. They could do what we're doing at DCAP, right? Where if you hold a certain NFT, like an accredited investor NFT, then you get access to those security tokens, right? We don't have to launch a completely separate exchange for that. But I think the point is that people, like, with all this bullshit with the SEC and being accredited or not, they're significantly limiting people's ability to to get in on the ground floor, right? Like, unless you have $1 million invested assets, right? Like, you couldn't invest in Uber or into Airbnb or any of these wildly explosive companies. You couldn't have invested in them on the ground floor. You had to wait until they launched their IPO, which at that point now they're launching at like $60 or $80 a share, when these already rich people, because of the guidelines the SEC put out, were able to get in, when they were pennies or dollars or whatever.
Oh, that's to protect you, Jared.
I know, because
That's to protect you,
I'm
man.
too stupid or too poor to.
It's free market for the poor.
Oh my gosh.
Closed market for the rich folks.
Yeah.
Because, if we'd let you guys do what you wanted with your money, you'd be in big trouble. You'd lose it all.
The worst. I would lose it all, though. Like, look at what happens in crypto.
Look at me.
Yeah. Okay, this one, Pat, I think we've gone full mainstream. Like this,
Okay.
Reading this article, I'm there. I know it. I know we're full mainstream. The Vatican has officially launched their NFT gallery to democratize art. That is incredible. On May 2nd, it was revealed that the Vatican would open a non-fungible token NFT art gallery so that people from all over the world could see the artworks, manuscripts, and other objects in its collection. The Vatican's doing it, dude. The Vatican's
okay,
on board.
So this is why this is great and terrible at the same time. So I'm assuming this is digital, right? This is not go to the. I've never been to the Vatican, but I hear the lines are terrible.
Yeah.
So
I've been.
I've been thinking about this critically
Just like
with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
4 hours.
Right? So figure out if you agree that an NFT is effectively a key or a membership pass to a club.
Mm-hmm.
At its most basic form, it's an authenticator, right? The issue I had, or a lot of people had, the reason people were like, it's a scam, NFTs are scams, what are you doing? Is because they don't understand that yet, and rightfully so, because the people who are selling these membership cards don't have a club set up yet, right? The people who, I guess, kind of are already selling NFTs are software companies like Adobe, right, who are giving you access to their software based upon an auto draft on your bank account every month. But it's not, everyone has the same thing. Everyone's got the same one. So I guess that's how it's different. But point being, the most practical application is virtual viewing, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, how can I go to a virtual museum? Or how can I view something virtually, get access to it, that is similar in experience to what it would be like viewing it in real life? Again, art. So super cool. The Vatican's doing that. There's not that many applications that are this ready-made for the use of NFTs, but Jesus Christ, pardon my French, they're the biggest landowner in the world.
Yeah.
The Vatican is.
Massively.
They're already mega rich, and they are absolutely and have been harboring child molesters for hundreds of years.
But this is Humanity 2.0, the Vatican-led NGO, right?
My thing is this, man. The Vatican has a lot of explaining to do before I start trusting them or being okay with them selling products, right, which will be bought by their loyal fan base. The Vatican has their market in the palm of their hand, and I don't know. It seems a little bit exploitative.
It probably is, and I'm not Catholic. I never have been, but
that's why I can say that.
Yeah,
that's why I can say
I'll
I'm
leave
a safe
those.
moon holder.
I'll leave those comments
crooks,
to you.
You crooks.
Yeah. But
yeah, no. I mean, hey, look.
I think we're gonna see
Catholics,
that though. I think we're gonna see big corporations. Like I look at the Catholic Church as a corporation. I mean, like you were saying, they're the largest landowner in the world, right? So they see an opportunity, they're gonna take it. They're opportunists, like everyone else.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, you know who needs to be doing this, man, is the National Archives. That's who needs to be doing this. And like, I don't know what the percentage of non-digitized documents are, but it's a ton. And the coolest thing about our country is that if the government does research, has documents, does an investigation, it's your property. It's public property. It's taxpayers' property. And one of the most important things about our democracy is being able to access that stuff. National Archives, severely underfunded. and has a massive backlog of digitizing documents and media, man,
Just imagine.
they would crush.
They would.
If you could buy an NFT that gave you access to their digital archives, right? It would solve their problem of security
and funding.
Yeah. Absolutely. It would make them enough money where they could get all the documents digitized as well.
Yeah.
It would be huge.
That brings me to like the Constitution Dow, which was this Dow that was set up to purchase the Constitution. And
that was a scam. That was a scam if I ever saw one.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it?
I don't think it's a scam. I don't know. I don't know enough about it, but I know it exists. And how you could do all sorts of stuff with the National Archives in these historical documents, or the Smithsonian, right? So I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting, but if the Catholic Church is getting into it, that's going to onboard, about 1 billion new people to crypto. So who knows? Maybe they're going to launch their own token. That'd be their tithing token.
Ooh, this sounds a lot like who was selling Passage to Heaven? What religion was that?
Wasn't that the Catholics?
Was it the Catholics?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because your mom or your dad's stuck in purgatory, and the only way you can get that is by buying him out or donating your 7-year-old boy, one or the other.
Buy him out.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that sums up our news piece and our crypto coverage for the week.
The indulgences. That's what it was. An indulgence. Buy an indulgence. Indulge me. Buy an indulgence from me.
Oh,
get you closer to God, man.
Hey, man, they've been one of the most profitable companies on the planet. So
yeah. Hey, what did I say earlier about an NFT? It's a key. What does St. Peter stand in front of? A gate.
Wow.
Just saying.
Didn't think about that. That's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're listening and they're going to take it. I think they're going to sell keys. I think they're going to sell NFTs to heaven.
Hey, God, nearing 40, still don't own a home. Maybe you could make this market bounce a little bit harder.
Well, it's going to bounce, dude. It's going to bounce up or down.
Something's bouncing in my life.
Yeah? What's that?
Checks. We need the market to pick up here.
I didn't know if that was going to be a check or a baby or what.
No.
Oh.
Baby's doing great.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a cute kid, man.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Pat. Next week.
Next week.